Welcome to the Crosstown Nine Podcast. Chris and John here to break down this great season going on for the Yankees. We missed a week. That's on me. I was sick. Could not do it. Tried my hardest, but I epic failed. Didn't want to leave John 2 straight weeks of doing it by himself, so we just took a week off. And now we're back, and a ton has happened. But at the same time, not that much has happened, because the same thing we were going to talk about last week is exactly what we're going to talk about this week, just worse now. Just worse now.
Much, much worse.
Yes, the Yankee season has not been going. It started off hot. Now it's going about the way we would have thought it would be going. Before we get started, make sure you follow Crosstown 9 on all social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. And make sure you check out some other podcasts in the same family of podcasts, Mad Props Pod, hosted by myself and sketching up all about cartoons, comics, games. We just talked about The Boys and Invincible recently. Are you into either of those shows?
I watched the first few seasons of The Boys. I want to get back into it. I've never watched The Invincible, so.
Invincible is great. Invincible, for people that don't know, that don't watch Sketching Up, is my favorite comic ever.
Oh, really?
Yes. So when they turned it into a show, I was very excited, and it's been very good. It's been very good. We also talked about, this is a show you may have watched, Scrubs, the new Scrubs. Have you seen the new iteration or the old iteration?
I have not either. I've not watched either.
Not seen the old iteration.
Funny enough. Oh.
Mary has not seen it either. We've just been going through the first season because she wants to watch the new season. Ava Bunn, who plays Dr. Sam Tosh on the new season, came on Mad Props, and actually, as of recording this, release date, recording day before, we're going to go see her out in Austin. She's doing a comedy show. She invited us out. So I want to see if you saw any of those, because Scrubs is great. You should definitely watch that. It's one of the best TV shows maybe ever.
I think everyone that I've ever talked to about Scrubs said it's a good show. So
yeah. No, I'm not saying it's a good show. Great. Skip season 9. Now you can skip it twice, because they actually decided that season 9 is not even a part of the new iteration. They just completely exit out.
It was a mistake.
So season 9 happened because ABC wanted more, but Bill Lawrence, the season 8 finale is one of the best finales. It's so good. Put the cherry on top perfectly. They did it right. But then ABC comes back. It was on NBC, moves to ABC for the last season, season 8, and ABC's like, we want more. And Bill Lawrence is like, I don't want to do anymore. And they're like, well, what if we do this where a new set comes in, like any of those other medical shows, right? Like the old guard's gone, new guard's in, they transition out. And Bill Lawrence is like, that's fine. You should make it into a spinoff, though, so it doesn't tarnish the legacy of the original. ABC's like, we want to use Scrubs. We want to use this. We bought this. We want this.
Yep.
So they made it season 9. There's an Easter egg. Every time Bill Lawrence's name, so it says the Scrubs title, it goes through the title screen, and then it says created by or Bill Lawrence is on there. And when Bill Lawrence's name comes up, at the bottom it says med school, because he refused to have his name on the as Scrubs. He would only have it on as Scrubs Med School. That was all he would do. So that's why season 9 is so bad, because it was a back and forth of it should be a spinoff. It shouldn't be a spinoff.
Obviously, they made it to make it kind of thing.
Yeah, well,
money grab.
It was, especially because that last season was so good and the finale was so good. It made so much money, and ABC just bought it. I understand that part, right? But yes, make the spinoff, whatever. Then it won't be as criticized. It won't be as harshly criticized as now it is a 9th season of Scrubs. It has to live up to the previous. There's 8 iterations we could compare it to.
That makes sense.
It's got to be better than that. So anyway, if you haven't seen Scrubs, like this Jamoke over here, go watch Scrubs. It's so good. And the new iteration of it, the reboot of it, has been fantastic. Wraps up tomorrow, or today if you're listening, because that's when it comes out. Wraps up tonight at 8. Or tomorrow on Hulu. So go check that out. And then check out Ava Bunn on Mad Props. She was great. Anyway, we're not here to talk about any of that. We're here to talk about something that may need to go see a medical unit, and that's the Yankees hitting. It's been atrocious. We are fresh off of an 11-10 back and forth, exciting game if you're a baseball fan, heart attack of a game if you like either of the teams, especially the one that lost, because the way they lost was pretty rough on a
Wild pitch.
walk-off wild pitch. I can't. There's no number out there. All right, there's no like counter. The Angels may have the most walk-off boneheads of all time.
That'd be a fun stat to try to find.
Error, wild pitch. The only reason I say boneheads is because I'm pretty sure they lost on like a walk-off where like they threw it back. They threw it back and he caught it and like he turned around and the ball dropped and the guy scored. Like so the pitcher just dropped the ball when it was thrown back. They probably have a walk-off balk in their history. But wild pitches especially, like when I think of a walk-off wild pitch, the Angels do come to mind quite often. Like they just seem to do it a lot.
Tough way to lose a high-scoring one too.
Yeah. So it was back and forth game. 2 home runs for Trent Grisham, 2 home runs for Aaron Judge, 2 home runs for Mike Trout. That part was cool. The 3-time MVPs going head-to-head, and they look like 3-time MVPs. Mike Trout was one of my sleepers in my Mad Props baseball episode recently. The Angels were a sleeper team to make the wild card game. I'm pretty sure in my head it was still a 1-game wild card. Totally forgot they do this like series now. Wild card. Completely blanked on my mind that they do that. I'm pretty sure I said a 1-game wild card. But who cares? It's just another mistake of the 1,000 rules they've added. But anyway, it was back and forth game. Yankees ended up winning. They are 9-7 of recording, but down 7-0 in the 8th as of recording right now. So the hitting has been atrocious.
They did not carry on their bats from yesterday.
They did not carry on the bats from yesterday. 2 hits, that's it. But the hitting overall has just been atrocious. Only one starter has an over 300 average. That's Giancarlo Stanton, who we both talked about in the Lost episodes as someone that could do pretty well. I'm pretty sure. I remember talking about because I just love Giancarlo Stanton, but he's actually like seeing the ball now. We're not seeing as many of those crazy strikeouts. He still has almost 20 strikeouts on the season, but we're not seeing those crazy waving at pitches that are going into the dirt and bouncing before the plate like he usually does. The big one is on 2-strike counts, he's actually getting bat to ball, and even though they're look like broken bat singles, they're still singles and not outs.
Better than what everybody else is doing.
Better than everybody else is doing. The big stat I wanted to come in with this one was 5 of the starters in today's game had an under 200 average. You brought up that 2 of them are creeping to that point now with this game that's going on. To be fair, one of them, Paul Goldschmidt, is not usually a starter. I have not watched today's game at all. Well prepared for this episode. But Ben Rice, if he's in the lineup, he's got to be batting almost 400. The dude is on fire.
Yeah, I think it's like 370, I think.
Let me see. 362 as of this recording right now. But he's not in the game. With Goldschmidt in the game, I got to imagine, because Stanton was in the game as well.
Yeah, no, he's benched.
Yeah,
I'm guessing with the Angels throw, usually it's a lefty.
Yeah, makes sense. He's only batting 400.
Detmers.
Yeah, he's batting 400. We should put him on the bench when everybody else is batting 160.
It's one of the things that annoy me about, not even necessarily the Yankees, but like this day and age of analytics. Don't believe in hot. Like, he's absolutely raking, but it's a lefty, so let's bench him. And I guess hopes somebody else picks it up.
I have a take that might actually be like a hot take on this. I think that's one of the reasons Giancarlo Stanton could never get it going during the season when he would have those big slumps. I truly do. Because if you think about every time Stanton would go 2 for 4 with a 400-foot home run, the next day he'd go 3 for 4 with 3 hits, and the next day he's benched. And it's like he's on fire. Like, why are we taking him out? We know this is where baseball's infuriating. There's no hot and cold, but there are streaky hitters. That's a guy being hot. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
it's contradictory.
It wasn't. I forget what year it was that they rested Aaron Judge for a game, and then he came back and he went on like a crazy slump. Like,
who knows?
because
That
it's
could
just
be
one
any
of those.
year.
That is true. But it was like one of those things where it's like they try so hard to rest people, and I think it's like, I mean, you can do it with pitchers, right? But the same thing, if they're going to get hurt, they're going to get hurt. Like, if they're playing well, let them play until they're not. and then bench
Well,
him or give him
it's
an
also
off
a
day.
thing, and this was always my thing with baseball. Now, I am not a Major League Baseball player, not a former player, not a manager, anything like that, but I have been around baseball for a long time, played baseball for a long time. I even coached baseball for a long time. And my thing is, if you are consistently going out there and doing the motions every day, I feel like you have a less chance of getting hurt. It's when you then take that break and your muscles become stiff. If you're doing the same thing constantly over and over, you're like, yeah, everybody needs an off day. But if you're taking too many off days, that's too many chances for your muscles not to become stiff, for them not to be in that same routine. You're throwing players off a routine.
Yeah.
I think that's where you're going to see the injuries happening, especially when you have those days where Judge, and this happened before with Judge or Stanton or any of them, they rest and then they play and they have an off day and then they have another game. So it's like you're really throwing their body out of whack. Like baseball players are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Baseball's all about consistency. Baseball practice is not like basketball practice where you're running plays. It's not like football where you're learning a defense. Baseball is literally take 1,000 ground balls until you don't screw it up the one time it comes to you.
Yeah.
Take
Players.
1,000 swings until you understand, like until you don't screw up when the ball is pitched. That is what baseball is. It's just consistency and reps.
Yeah, they're such creatures of habit. Like you just said, that I feel like when you, I guess the only thing with the Yankees is that they have this predetermined plan that I'm sure the players know and are aware of. But like even then, like it must stink if you're a player and you're scorching hot, you're seeing the ball beautifully every night. You're doing play, like you're making plays defensively, and then you have to sit, and there's no like retracting on that decision of an off day. Whereas like you have a 10-game history, you're hitting homers every other day, and he's like, sorry, it's the scheduled off day, we can't do anything about it. And I'm like, that's where things get even more frustrating, because even if it's predetermined, like have a little bit of wiggle room with it if your guy's scorching hot, especially if your team is struggling and you need the help offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I love Giancarlo Stanton. He's one of my favorite players. He's one of my favorite Yankees, and I love Aaron Judge. He is my favorite Yankee, I would say, right now. Co-worker at one point, Aaron Judge. But the thing with Judge and Stanton that I don't think they get away with in previous iterations of the Yankees, just because of the personality of the players, they're very like fall in line type guys. So if they come up and say, today's your scheduled off day, they're not really giving it back to them, whether they feel like they want to play or not.
Yeah.
They understand the system and they're very fall in line. Like, I don't think you could do that with players from the 2000s. Not to compare old to new, because it's two completely different games. Like, I'm not trying to say the old guard is better or anything like that. But some of those guys from even like the A-Rods, like you couldn't take A-Rod out. Now he was a little bit more than the fall in line guy, but like even so, like he was a competitor. He was like, no, I'm healthy. I'm here. I'm playing.
Yeah.
But there are guys like from those 2000s, 2010s, even guys today. I think there's guys today that if you go like, hey, we're taking you out for a rest day, they're gonna be like, no, you're not. Like I'm playing today. Like Bryce Harper is someone I think of. Like, could you just go to Bryce Harper and be like, today's your scheduled off day, you're not playing? He'd be like, no, I'm healthy. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm here. He has enough time. Like he's one of those guys. Like he'll have a little stretch where he'll be hurt this year, but that's because he plays all out and he doesn't take off days. So that's another thing with these guys. So you're saying like it must suck to be on a hot streak, get taken out, and then go cold. But these guys are so fall in line that they don't seem to mind it. I mean, Judge has been in the league since 2016, 2017, right? The call up, call down, then call back up. And Stanton's been on the team since a year after that. Yeah. They've been on the team for long enough to know the system, and if they really want to make a move, especially Aaron Judge is a 3-time MVP. If he really wanted to be like, this is how I want to do it, there's not much arguing that's going to be done.
Yeah, that's true. And I also think like now with a lot of the younger players coming up, I think they just kind of know that that's how it is, especially with the Yankees. I am curious though how it is with other teams, like how it differs from franchise to franchise, like. Do the White Sox rest a guy like the Yankees do? Like, I'm sure the Dodgers, like all the top teams probably do it because they're so focused on the postseason, right? Like the Yankees, Dodgers, teams like that. But like, if you're fighting for a playoff spot or if you're at the bottom of the league, like, are you concerned with resting guys to keep them healthy?
I can't imagine you are. I mean, but the difference between going for a playoff spot, and seem like the White Sox is a team like the White Sox probably doesn't have many guys that need to rest. They need again. We're going back to reps. Like you get the Colson Montgomerys playing.
Yeah, a lot of them
shortstop.
are young guys.
They're young guys. They need to get reps in. Like the
that's
Rockies don't have guys that are needing to really rest, except for Chris Bryant, who never plays. Like everyone else is like needing the reps to try to be a major leaguer, which is funny. Like you play, you grind through the minors, and then you grind through the majors, and you get all these reps to get up to speed, and now you're an elite baseball player. It's like now you're gonna rest. It's like that doesn't make any sense. Like you're not that much older. But to be fair, Judge and Stanton are that much older. They're both in their 30s now. Stanton's like 36 now. He's getting up there quickly.
Yeah. 2 more years left on his contract, technically, or 1 more? I forget.
Something like that, yeah.
It's crazy. Like you think about when he first came over, and like how many years he thought like when he first came over, like wow, he has 8 years left on his contract or something like that. And you're like, like how are we ever going to get to the end of it? And now we're at the end of it, and it's like it's a good deal for what he is.
It's like almost like a hot take, but now it's like not a hot take. Like Giancarlo Stanton trade was a good trade and a good deal for the Yankees. Like, yes, he got hurt a lot.
Bird's eye view. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I mean. You're taking a step back. It's almost at the end of this deal. But like, if you really think about it, like, yes, he got hurt. Yes, there was times that you wanted to really just have at him. But overall, he had a couple of 30-plus home run years. He is probably the best postseason performer of this recent team. Maybe a tie between him and Didi Gregorius.
The
moments, those are the two guys. And it's not just isolated into 1 or 2 playoff runs. He's had a bunch of playoff runs where he was the best hitter. I mean, in 2020 and then on that World Series run, if he was at the plate, it was a home run. Like, it was crazy how often he was hitting home runs in those playoff series. And just that alone, like, makes it worth the contract. They don't go to the World Series. They don't have these playoff runs that they had these couple of years without Giancarlo Stanton. And what's funny is what was a massive contract when he first came in ended up kind of being a steal later in the contract because $25 million for a player is almost nothing anymore. Kyle Tucker makes $60 million. Like, it's almost nothing now.
Yeah, it's why I think also what helped the Stanton contract was all the other egregious stuff that Cashman did.
Yeah.
Like all the other bad contracts that were around him and players that were getting paid a lot of money and didn't perform or didn't play. That I think it kind of like, and Stanton too is one of those guys that just kept his head down and played. Like he didn't.
Yeah, he's perfect for New York.
He didn't argue with fans. He didn't argue with media. Like he wasn't fazed by the boos. And then even when he was struggling, like he just kept doing his thing. That when he did succeed, the fans rewarded him for that. So I think that worked out for him as well. Is that he just had to kind of keep his head down and play, and it all worked out for him, and is going to continue to as long as he stays healthy, continues to stay healthy, and then perform in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm sure the 2 years left on his contract, that's going to be it for Stanton in pinstripes. Maybe in baseball, that might be it for him. He might just hang it up after that and call it a career. He's had a good career.
He wants to open some bags of chips again.
Yeah, he wants to open bags of chips and tie his shoes and not hit massive 550-foot home runs. It's crazy still to me that he can like not open a bag of chips. When he gets a base hit, it says 118 miles an hour off the bat. It's like, how does that make sense? How do you hit a ball 118 miles an hour? You can't open a bag of chips. Wow. Also, he's like negative 1% body fat. That probably doesn't help his chip opening abilities as well, with just straight muscle on bone going on for him. But I think overall he was a good contract. I don't know off the top of my head what the trade was, and I can look it up when I flip it back to you to kind of.
That was Sterling Castro, and
Sterling Castro is the major leaguer.
The major headline, right?
But I don't know who else was in it. And Sterling Castro even was not like he didn't come back to bite us. He didn't really continue to have an amazing career. I liked him as a Yankee a lot.
I did too, actually.
But he didn't come. That didn't come back to bite us, and I don't know who the other.
I don't think anyone
pitcher and was Luis Brinson with us, or was that with a different? That might have been with the Brewers. I don't remember. I just remember he was a big time prospect for them. But yeah, I couldn't even tell you. who they traded for him, but it doesn't really matter because no one had the career that he had that they could have traded for him. So, and now this year he's the best performing Yankee. So, take that, Stanton haters.
Full circle, singles hitter,
singles chip not opener, singles hitter, Giancarlo Stanton. Let's see. I'm looking up right now Stanton trade. So he was traded for Starlin Castro, Jose Devers, and Jorge Guzman. That's it. That's the trade. Giancarlo Stanton to the Yankees, along with $30 million.
How about that? They also kicked in money, right?
Yeah, they kicked in money for it. And Starlin Castro, Jorge Guzman, and Jose Devers. I was going to click on them, but I can't even click. Can't even click on these.
Probably a money dump for
It had to have been, yeah. It's just a money dump. I mean, that's what they do. That's what they do. It's crazy. The A's and the Marlins, now this is a couple of years ago, and I can't tell you all of them off the top of my head, but we did a different podcast for a different website at the time. And what we did is we took the Marlins and the A's, and we put all of the players, if they weren't traded, on the teams. And you're like, that's like a World Series matchup. I mean, their outfield alone was Yelich, Stanton, and Starling Marte, wasn't it? Wasn't he the other outfielder? There was a third outfielder that was pretty good.
There was a third one. Yeah, it might have been Marte, but I thought there was another one too. That was really good.
Marte or Ozuna, I think, was also a Marlin. JT Realmuto, D. Gordon. They had a first baseman too. That was pretty good. They had a nasty team. That all broke up because Jose Fernandez, but that's a whole different story. I don't think it breaks up like that if Jose Fernandez doesn't tragically pass away, personally. But that's just my opinion there. Speaking of the bats, so let's get back to the Yankees bats, not named Giancarlo Stanton, who's actually doing well, or Ben Rice, who's been doing pretty well. That's a shout out to you, saying Ben Rice will be the top Yankee performer, because he is the top Yankee performer on the season. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hitters are under 200, with 1, 2, 3 of them. All right, I'm actually not going to count. Why is he on there? All right, taking off one of them. 2 hitters have not gotten a hit. One of them is having pretty consistent playing time, too, and that's Randall Grichuk. Does not have a hit.
I think he just got a hit today.
Did he get a hit today? This didn't update? Maybe I got to hit this update button.
In the 8th.
Let's see. Hey, he's now batting .063.
He's on the board.
Hey, congratulations. They have Paul Blackburn in here for some reason. That's one of the hitters. That's why I was like, why
I
is he
saw
on
that
here?
this morning when I looked at that.
Why is he on the hitting thing here? And it's also sorted by home runs, which is stupid. I would say the biggest disappointment, if you do it by average, by the way, it just cuts the list down by 5 people.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's how many people don't have it.
It's so bad.
I would say the most disappointing person on this entire team right now is Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah. So I think both of us talked about him being such an important part of this team, like along with obviously Judge, Stanton. And then I think we both thought Rice would have a good season, but like contract year, like widely regarded as either first or second best second baseman in the league. For him to get off to such a bad start and like making mistakes in the field, and like he did yesterday, 2 days ago, and it's just like after all the talking he did in the offseason too about his 40-40 going for 50-50, like all that stuff, like it's tough seeing him struggle as bad as he's struggling, because he was like supposed to be such a big part of it. I guess it's still early, right? Like you could turn around quick, but to come out to like have such a rough start is very disappointing, especially from him.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, not only with the bat but on the field, he hasn't looked good at all. By the way, sad news: Giancarlo Stanton is now under 300. He is at 298. So that's sad news. But
terrible.
He came out with all this talk. He was on the first broadcast with the on the mic, like going for 50-50, like all this stuff. He's batting 180, no home runs. He does have 6 stolen bases, so he's on pace for that one there. But even when he hits the ball, it's just not coming off the bat hard. He just looks like he looks lost at the plate. Even the swings he's getting the bat on that look kind of good. Just it looks like he just kind of ran into one instead of actually hitting the ball.
Yeah.
It's just been disappointing. Even with like Judge is at 222, Bellinger's at 237. I don't find either of those really that disappointing because they're still hitting when it matters. Judge again yesterday had a go ahead home run, had the 2-run home run in the beginning of the game. He had another late inning home run earlier this year. Like he's actually been hitting the ball well. Judge is just striking out too much. 22 strikeouts already on the season. But Chisholm just looks lost. Like he doesn't look like he's seeing the ball well. Doesn't look like he really has a grip of the strike zone. And then, like you said, on the field, like they moved him from third back to his natural position to now he's not fielding. He can't even field it. It wasn't a third base thing at this point. Like it's just he's not fielding well.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where you would hope that even if he was struggling at the plate, it wouldn't affect him defensively. Like really, he can kind of separate the two. And then he came out with the quote that he's just cold. Like he's from the Bahamas and it's still freezing cold out here. But like you can't use that when you're playing the Rays and you're indoors and you still don't play well and your team gets swept.
Francisco.
Yeah.
They started in a warm place and then went to a warm place.
So it's tough when, again, it's Jazz. Jazz sometimes just talks the talk, as most baseball players do, or most athletes do. But like, to go to that excuse is kind of weak when you're just not playing well. Like we talked about Stanton and just owning up to the bad times. Like you can just own up to the bad time and just kind of keep it pushing, especially with this team where the fans have their pick of the litter of who they can be mad at, yell at. Don't give them more reasons to criticize you.
Yeah, and Jazz Chisholm, I like Jazz Chisholm. I'm a fan of Jazz Chisholm. I will say I did say he was a bit overrated a couple of years ago when he was on the MLB cover with the Marlins because he was like a 250 20 home run guy, but he was like exciting and fun. And that's why he was on the cover, and that's why he is such a face of baseball for the most part. Like now, I don't think he actually even gets that as much anymore. If you remember a couple of years ago, like he was one of the faces. Like when they had ads, when they had MLB The Show covers, when they had all this stuff, he was like a part of it. And then he goes to the Yankees, one of the biggest markets in all of sports, and now he's like not there anymore. So he kind of went back to where he should be in that realm. But when he was getting all that stuff, I mean, he didn't even get 100 games in a season yet. He was batting 250. I think like 19 home runs was his top. Now, granted, he was only in the league for a couple of years at that point. But so seeing him struggle like is not super surprising, as I believe he's up right now and just completely swung in front of a ball, destroyed his bat. Just proving the point that I'm trying to say, that he just looks lost at the plate. And even the breakout last year, I'm just going to go over a stat really quick from last year. 31 home runs, 31 stolen bases, but batted 242. So like the batting average has always been pretty low, but he almost looks like Stanton. Like he looks lost. Like when Stanton has those cold streaks,
oh my God,
you think Stanton never played baseball before. And that's kind of what Jazz is looking like right now, where he just is swinging at air.
I think he'll turn it around, though.
I do, too.
I think he'll turn it around and be all right. Out of all the bad hitters, I think he's probably the one I'm least concerned about.
Yeah, there's some other people to really be concerned about because they're not just bad hitters. They're just like, they might just be bad players, and we don't know that yet.
Well, what stinks is that coming into the season, I don't even remember if it was one of the lost episodes or one of the more recent ones where we talked about our concerns, the players we're concerned about. And all of those players are not playing well. Between McMahon, Wells, Caballero, I think I was higher on than you were. I think you were like,
I said that they need to go get
player.
A shortstop. Yeah, I said they need to go get a shortstop.
I was like, let's see what happens. Maybe he'll take over, and now everyone wants Volpe back. but like Grisham before his homers yesterday was like lost. It's like all players we were concerned about, and they are all not hitting.
Yeah. Uh,
And he's
he's
platooning
batting
with Grishik.
he's batting 179 right now, by the way, 179. Those were the two positions I was the most concerned about was center field because will Grisham turn it around and be the guy he should be, and then shortstop because we've now seen two shortstops that might not be able to play shortstop. Although I think Volpe could be a good shortstop still. I think he was a young player that's playing in the market he wanted to. He's from New Jersey, I believe, or he's from somewhere
He's a
nearby.
local. Yeah, he's
He's
a
a
local
local playing for his hometown team, which is just happens to be one of the biggest teams in all of sports. And he started to struggle. And when you start to struggle in New York, it's not great. Like it's one of the worst places to struggle. And it just got to him. I think him being down in the minors right now to rehab, that they want to call it, is good. Like I think him getting some at bats in is good. Whether you want to say it was true or not, he won a Gold Glove. Like he can field. Like we know he can field. He did it consistently for a while there. And I think the bat's going to come around. I don't know if he'll be the starting shortstop of the Yankees for the future. I still think they made the biggest mistake not going after Corey Seager, thinking they had the future in the minor leagues. Corey Seager is built for Yankee Stadium. Now, Corey Seager's had his own injury problems as time's gone along, and he kind of DHs a lot with the Rangers now. But he was built for the Yankees, and they've needed a shortstop for a long time, basically since Gregori has left, and that was the guy. They say they almost had Bryce Harper, and Cashman didn't want to offer. That was a mistake. I actually think Seager was more of a mistake, though, than Bryce Harper was, by far.
Yeah, I think both kind of are on the same line. It just because Bryce would have easily then solved our first base problem for so many years. Like after, because similar to shortstop,
now
we've
when
bounced
he
around
came
so
out,
much.
he was a right fielder.
Yeah, but the Yankees didn't. I think one of the things, other than the not wanting to offer, was like we have Judge. Why do we need another right fielder?
Yeah,
And Bryce
it's two more outfield positions.
But now Bryce moved to first base, and we've gone through how many first basemen over the last few years that it serves a similar purpose.
We had the home run leader, Luke Voigt. Guy doesn't even exist anymore. And he was a home run leader.
Ripped too many shirts. They had to kick him out.
For people that don't know, he was the home run leader in 2020 when they played 60 games. He had 20, which is kind of crazy to think about, though. In 60 games, he had 20 home runs. That's pretty legit. Wow. He had one of the worst mechanics I think I've ever seen of a baseball player, though. So it's not crazy that he fizzled out. But you're right. He'd be playing first right now. That was the biggest thing I took from the Classic for Team USA and Aaron Judge was that how close Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge were. Like, they were actually really good friends. When that happens, you just got to sign him at that point. But at the end of the day, I think Corey Seager just...
Yeah, you're solidifying one of the premier positions, especially the Yankees, right? Post Jeter. Yeah. It made too much sense.
It made too much sense, and they didn't want to shell out for him. And then all he did was go and help the Rangers win a World Series. So he did exactly what he was going to do, and he's still one of the best players in baseball, although does not get talked about anymore because he's on the Rangers. Who knows? Maybe they'll trade for him later. So going into that, I know it's early. I still think they need to go find a shortstop. Volpe will come back, but I think shortstop is one of the most important positions on the entire field. You can't play around with your shortstop. I even think over center field, they need to make sure they lock up the shortstop position. And then one thing we haven't talked about yet, they got to shore up the bullpen, which is something crazy to say about a Yankees team.
I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
No, it's...
Or inconsistent, I guess I would say.
It's been
either
bad.
word.
No, it's
because
bad.
I think going in, you're like, cool, Bednar Duval. Solid. You know what you're getting from Tim Hill and Fernando Cruz. That you're like, okay, you got four arms that you kind of know what you're going to get. Yarbrough is your length guy. But then, everybody after that, between, Blackburn, Bird, who just got sent down, after his bad showing that you were just like, I think we both were like, bullpen's probably going to need work, but they'll be okay until then. But now it's
Yeah,
like
they'll be serviceable.
every game against the Rays was like a battle. Like it was all bad, all bad.
Yeah,
And yesterday the same thing, where it was like you're going back and forth, you're retaking the lead, and another reliever gives it back, and you have no faith in any of your relievers now, and your
and
starters, especially early on in the season, where your starters aren't giving you that length yet. But
yeah,
even a
and you
day
can't.
like, even a day like where Warren was out after 3, 4 innings, you're like, what the heck are we going to do with the bullpen? Who are you going to send out there that can for sure give you an inning of like no runs? You don't have faith in anyone.
I'm trying to pull up some of the stats, but for some reason,
I think
they
Hedrick's our
only
best reliever right now.
they only have 4 pitchers that I can look at, and they're all starting pitchers, which does nothing for me. No, nothing for me. So I gotta go to a different site. But yes, they've been rough. They've been really bad, and it's showing, especially in some of these late games. And the big thing we were going to talk about is not that the bullpens have been bad, but that the team was doing really well, started out 8-2, which we've talked about a couple of times, and now after tonight's game, most likely it was 7-1 in the ninth, they're going to be 9-8 and have lost. They lost a couple straight. There was a 5 straight, then won, and then lost to almost be at 500. And it's because the batters aren't hitting, and now the pitching is not matching up either. And the pitching was very much carrying. Let's not forget the first 2 games of the year were shutouts, but the pitching's not carrying like it was. Even if the starters go deep, the bullpen's not helping. Starters aren't going as long as they need to, and it's now the batters have to actually hit the ball, and it's not, except for the 11-10 game, that's just not been happening, and that's why they're getting swept by the Rays and losing a series to the Athletics where they almost got no hit. Didn't even mention that. I don't even know if we mentioned that on the podcast yet. They almost got no hit by the A's. They don't even have a
Sears,
city.
right? I forget who it was.
It was no, not Sears. It was it'll come to me. It was JP Sears. I don't know. The pitching matchup was like Ryan Weathers versus JP Sears. And
Oh no, Springs.
Springs, yeah, Springs.
I know it was one of
It was
those.
Weathers versus Springs, and I was in Orlando. And I looked at the match, and I was like, "Wow." I don't even know if I was in Orlando at the time. Wherever I was talking to
Weathers pitched
somebody.
a gem.
Yes, and I was like, "This is going to be a $5 game." Like, there's no other. The A's are in town. It's Weathers versus Springs. Neither of them are going to put on a clinic. Both of them did,
Both did. Yeah.
but tickets were $35, which is crazy for an athletics game. Crazy for an athletics game. But yeah, Springs comes in, almost pitches a no-hitter. One hitter was, and I think it was a 1-0 game or a 2-0 game, something like that.
1-0. Yeah, because Weathers went 8.
Yep, and both teams pitched great, but didn't matter. So now the pitching is not keeping up, and the hitting is also not keeping up, and now things are not great early in the season. But the bullpen definitely has to be addressed.
The thing too is that in previous years coming into the season, you're like, who's hurt? Like, where's the reinforcement? And like, I think you're getting at with the pitching, right? When Garrett Cole, because I think what they're going to do, as long as everyone's healthy, is Garrett Cole and Rodon will come into the starting lineup. And I think they're going to move Heel and Weathers into the bullpen so that you get a little bit more reinforcements there if they both work in the bullpen. But then offensively, you don't have any reinforcement. Volpe, but like, do you have faith in that?
Well, they're going to say, what are you going to say? Volpe, you're going to say Dominguez.
But they're not going to call him up. They're not going to call up Dominguez.
But that's what they're and once he's ready, it's like getting a trade deadline. That was always my least favorite one. It's like,
when someone comes back from injury, that's your
when
trade.
Cole comes back, it's like getting a pitcher at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what else is like getting a pitcher at the trade deadline? Getting a pitcher
Trade.
at the trade deadline. That's what's like getting a pitcher. Because this guy's been out for over a freaking year. Like, I think he'll be fine. He's Garrett Cole. He's a major league pitcher. He's not just a pitcher. He is a professional pitcher. The guy knows how to do it. But that doesn't mean he's going to come back and be good right away.
Yeah.
He's been injured for over a year.
I think everyone's banking on Cole coming back and being Cole. You just don't know if that's the case.
You just don't know.
The only saving grace, right, is that Max Fried and Cam Schlittler seem like they're going to be the real deal all season. So you can count them as being your 1 and 2. So you just need one of the other 5 pitchers to be hot and be your 3.
On paper, that rotation is just insane, though. It's Fried and Schlittler.
Talking about Rodon as your 4.
Rodon, Cole, and then fill in the blank, right? Weathers, Warren. When Clark Schmidt comes back, is he the 5th starter?
I don't know what they're going to do with him.
I mean,
bullpen.
You can almost move one of them for a reliever or a shortstop.
I think they want to trade Heel, but he just has no value right now.
I understand that. I tried to trade Heel all offseason in my fantasy league, and nobody wanted him.
Nobody wants him. He is so low value right now. I don't think they wanted to trade him in the offseason because they were down 2 arms. But I think if they can flip him in season, I think they will.
See, but that's the problem. When you have an opportunity to this is what the Yankees do wrong, and we've talked about this before. When you have an opportunity to flip a guy at his highest value, like they knew they weren't going to keep him. From when he won Rookie of the Year, we all knew he wasn't going to be on the roster. He was like a 26-year-old Rookie of the Year.
I think once they signed Fried too, it was
he should have been gone.
You should have traded. Yeah,
because that's what I mean. We all knew they were going to have
three. You're talking about having 3 arms, high priced. That, and then you thought Schmidt, Warren.
I think doesn't come on until last year.
Yeah,
so
Schlittler I think was tough to read. But even with Schlittler, this is where the Yankees struggle sometimes, is evaluating their talent. If they knew what Schlittler could be, then they probably should have moved off of Heel after his Rookie of the Year season anyway. Because then you're talking about having Rodon, Fried, Cole, Clark Schmidt, Warren, and then Schlittler as your 6th, and then whatever other arms you're going to get. Where you could have flipped Heel for a shortstop, better third baseman, another outfielder, that kind of thing.
Whatever's out there. Yeah, whatever's
out there.
Like,
you could have done something to boost your offense, but like they're so bad at evaluating their own talent one way or the other. Or they overhype, or they think they're so good and they call them up and they stink.
Yeah.
So like they just don't know how to evaluate their own talent, and it's the same thing every time.
I think that was on a lost episode where I was saying
talent evaluation.
The Yankees are really good at hyping their own prospects. The problem is they buy into their own hype every single time, where they're like, "Oh man, maybe this guy really is great," and then they're not, and then they're maybe Miguel Andujar is the next great third baseman, but we all knew you could just tell by he's literally swings one-handed.
Yeah.
Like there's a one-handed finish and there's a one-handed swing. He only swung with his left hand. His right hand always left the bat mid-swing. Guy's not going to be able to continue. Like
you can make a crazy list of the prospects, right? Like Andujar's a big one. Clint Frazier's a huge
all the
first basemen, Greg Bird, Tyler Austin, like so many that they're up next. Call them up right now. You're dealing that with Volpe, which we still will see, but it's like it's so frustrating.
I think the biggest malpractice of a minor leaguer where they should have known the talent from the beginning was known the value traded at its highest was Tyler Wade. I don't think at any point anyone thought he was more than a quadruple A player. Like no one ever sat there and said he's the next great shortstop. No one ever said he's going to be on the team forever. But he had high value when he was first coming up. He was extremely fast. Yeah. He had a decent bat. He had a great glove. But they bought into it, and they kept him around, and then they tried to get rid of him, and they couldn't do anything. So it's just that's what they do with all these players. Like you said, we can go through a long list of these players that they do this with every single time. And I'm not trying to say you should trade everybody. They're
going to do it again is the thing. Like they're doing it with Dominguez. They're doing it with Spencer Jones. Who knows with Lombard? They have all these pitchers, and you have 4 pitchers signed for another 5 years. And it's just you have so many needs. So many needs.
The The thing is, the blueprint was laid in 2015, 14, 15 with the Royals, where like you should go get as many pitchers as you can from outside sources and grow your own home talent. Now the Yankees aren't the Royals, so they can grow their own home talent like Aaron Judge, but then they can also fill the gaps with other, like, shortstop or second or whatever. They can mix it up a little bit, but they almost feel like they have to be the Royals or they have to be those small town. Like, we have this guy where we're building him up to be this, and it's like, but you don't have to do that. Like, take the talent you know is going to be good. It's funny because you're saying like they don't know their own talent. Aaron Judge got brought up and sent down because they just thought he was like a throwaway. The dude was 26 when he first got called up.
Yeah.
He was very late in his career already. He was awful. He was in trade. If you go back, he was in trade packages back in 2016 because they thought he was a lost cause. They call him back up. Now he's one of the best players in all of baseball. Now, baseball is very hard to evaluate overall. Like, I will give it that. It is not an easy sport to evaluate, especially as you move up levels. As pressure gets higher and pitching gets better, some guys just can't get to that level, but they can go down a level and be the best player in the world. So it makes sense sometimes, but they're just consistently always off on everything they do, every evaluation they make. It's just, if you think somebody's going to be good, maybe hold on to him. If you're trying to hype him, saying he's going to be great, you got to move off him when the value's there, and they like to move off of them when the value's gone. And then they get nothing for him, or if they just have to let him go, and then it becomes nothing. If they really want to make big trades, they got to hype these guys up and then push them out. Look at the ones they have hyped up in the past too, that never really ended up being anything.
Yeah.
My big one
like
is
none of their big trades, the prospects never really
pan out.
Yeah.
Look at all the big trades, like almost ever. Like they almost never pan out.
Rare.
Like it's very rare. You don't really see many. James Shields was traded to the White Sox for Fernando Tatis Jr., who was a player to be named later, and now it's Fernando Tatis Jr. That doesn't really happen that often. Like, it's usually these three guys, and they're like, whatever. Like, no one ever really comes
player
out
to
of
be
it.
named.
Player to be named later.
It's always the funniest thing.
Yeah, and then it's never Tatis Jr. Like, it's always just some guy you're never going to hear. We just talked about the Stan. Stan won MVP the year before that trade. He was the MVP. He hit 59 home runs.
Like, you think of most recent, the Nationals trading Soto and getting that package? I think most of those.
No, two of them are already in the majors. Yeah,
I think that worked out well, but for the most part, like
Woods and who's the other one? I mean, C.J. Abrams. He's their starting shortstop.
Yeah.
And then there's one more prospect that actually is panned out pretty well from that. But none of them are Juan Soto, at least not yet.
No. Yeah.
But Yelich was traded from the Marlins after having some great seasons.
Like Stan, we just talked about MVP.
Yeah, I think Luis Brinson was the best, or Bryson or something like that was the best prospect of that. He didn't become anything.
Mm.
I mean, look at this Jazz Chisholm one. I don't even know what players they traded for Jazz Chisholm 2 years ago.
I don't know that one either.
Yeah, and it doesn't usually pan out to be anybody. So, anyway, trade your prospects when you have them high, and don't hold on to them when you don't have to.
And if you're like again, I don't remember if this was the last episode or not, but like,
we'll be saying that a lot in the beginning here.
Like, but like the way the Yankees are, like always competing for playoffs, always competing for World Series, like there's not really any room to develop young prospects in season. Like there's no room for it.
No,
they get booed so quickly.
Yeah,
if they're not strong enough mentally, they don't work.
Yeah, I mean, there's major leaguers that have come here that are great players. Great when they come in, suck here. Great when they leave.
Exactly.
Sonny Gray's a great example of that.
Yeah, he's probably the number one example.
Yeah, he might be the best example of that, where he came in and he was bad, and then he left and he was great again. But yeah, I agree. Like, you can't have Volpe making an error, getting booed, and then it gets to his head. You can't have Dominguez having 4 strikeouts in a game, and now he can't get back on top of it. We talked about that as well early on, where it's tough when you have a guy. It's tough to coach a guy that's successful immediately. You don't want him to hit a home run in his first at bat. I had that happen to me when I coached. Kid had a swing. He literally swung straight up in the air. It was a tough swing, but the first pitch he saw of the season, he hit a home run. Now what am I supposed to tell him? It's like, you shouldn't swing like that. It's not a good swing. It's like, what do you mean it's not a good swing? I just hit a home run with it. It's like, yes, but this, because you got lucky on one. Like, that swing is not good. So that's what happened with Dominguez. I believe he might have hit 2 home runs in his first game, but he definitely hit 1 home run in his first game off of Justin Verlander. So when that kind of thing happens, it makes it tough.
Yeah, it's just always the Yankees in the prospect conversation. Like, they can go in circles.
We can have 1,000 episodes on it. It'll never get old. Maybe one of these episodes we should just go through like the prospects that they've hyped up, like the Andújars, the Clint Frazier's, Tyler Austin's, Greg Bird's.
I had so much faith in Greg Bird. My brother still makes fun of me to this day about Greg Bird.
Well, he also had that big playoff home run, didn't he? With Gregorius,
I think
that
so,
same one.
I had so much faith.
We get to leave on this officially over 7-1 loss. Stanton struck out, and then it looked like someone else struck out. I didn't even see who it was because we were talking. But 2 strikeouts to end the game. I think it was.
Who got the RBI? Ben Rice.
Ben Rice got the only RBI, sac fly on a pitch hit, so his average does not dip, and he still gains that RBI. Judge did hit a double to lead off the inning, and then that was it. Rosario, Stanton, and it looked like I think that was Trent Grisham. Strikeout. So good times. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Crosstown 9. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, go to the bottom, hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribe on whatever platform you are listening or watching on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever that may be. Make sure you follow us on social media at Crosstown 9 Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook and Twitter/X. Also check out some of the other podcasts, Sketching Up Podcast and Mad Props Pod on social media, or just go listen to them as well. You can find them through this. Just click that Schnabel Studios in the title, and it'll take you to all the podcasts that are brought to you by Schnabel Studios. Well, I would like to say let's go Yankees to end it, but they lost, and I don't feel like cheering them on right now. But no, I'm just kidding. Let's go Yankees. Let's continue to build upon this loss. I still think shortstop's coming. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe it is Corey Seager. I don't know. The Rangers kind of suck, so who knows. Any closing thoughts for you?
I just need them to start hitting. We didn't even talk about Ryan McMahon.
Yeah. What's there to talk about? His 3 hits?
Ugh.
Yeah.
We'll turn it around.
Yeah, we'll see where he's at next week, and then we can talk about him when he still only has 3 hits at that point, too.
He's about to go on a hit stream, calling it right now.
Yeah, well, that's only 2 hits in a week. Because he only has 3 on the entire season. All right, everybody. See you next week. Later.